What's up, boys? So welcome back to another vlog. And right now it's 7 in the morning, and I actually have something to tell you guys. Well, if you've watched my last vlog, I was actually, talking at the very beginning of the video. I was talking about, should I go ahead and cut or should I go ahead and bulk? And I just, couldn't decide. And then I decided that, I'm gonna go ahead and keep on lean bulking. Well, the truth of the matter is that I've been trying to lean bulk basically ever since like last year, basically like July 2025, August 2025. Like, I've literally been trying to go ahead and bulk, and I have bulked. I have gained weight because I used to weigh around 68 or 69 kg, like a year ago. And currently I weigh 73 kilograms, and the most I ever got to was 75 kg. But the thing is that I've been trying to bulk and eat more and, pack on size, and I've most definitely built muscle. I've gotten so much stronger, but I've just honestly plateaued at like 73 kg, and it's not even enjoyable anymore to go ahead and like eat. I mean, it was never really enjoyable. If you're like a skinny guy who's always been skinny, like it's not going to be super enjoyable for you to just literally put so much food in your mouth all the time and all of that. So yeah, I've decided that I actually want to go ahead and do a mini cut. I'm not going to be cutting for months and months. I just want to go ahead and do like a little mini cut. This is going to be the kind of like a reset for me. uh I'm gonna like basically starve myself so I could actually enjoy food later on. On a serious note, I'm only gonna be cutting for like a few months, maybe like 2 or 3 months, like nothing gonna be too crazy. From then I might actually start lean bulking again, or I might start actually main gaining, because I'm honestly kind of at a pretty decent size. I'll show like my physique in a minute. I'm kind of at like a decent size. So if I were to get leaner, I might look even better. But yeah, like if I were to add in like a few kgs more of muscle, that would be great, but nothing crazy, right? I still go ahead and advise people who are beginners in the gym, if you're skinny, even if you're like skinny fat, you should just be focusing on lean bulking for like the first 2 years, and then you can actually go ahead and cut. I mean, it depends, of course, on your whole physique goals, because the truth of the matter is that most people actually want to have like a bigger physique, but they're kind of afraid of, getting too big, when in reality, it's really hard to actually become too big. The only people who get like too big are like people who are on steroids. They have like myostatin deficiency or something, like some sort of like genetic thing, which just makes them like really easy to just like gain muscle for them, right? So yeah, that's not so easy to actually like gain that much size. And another thing is that people have this view, especially if you watch like videos when people talk about like what are girls' favorite types of like bodies of men, or like what kind of guy do they basically prefer. And they'll always say like, oh yeah, I don't want him to be too big, I just want him to have a little bit of muscle. Or some girls will say like, I like a dad bod. The truth of the matter is, bro, like, do not listen to girls on what kind of preferences they have, because girls break the rules for a guy who is attractive, okay? So they can say like, oh, I just like a guy who has a dad bod. If a true basically Chad with basically like, I don't know, he's like 200 pounds lean, comes up to her, he's tall, he's charismatic, like of course she's gonna like him. Like it's like a no-brainer, bro. Of course there are genuinely exceptions when girls would like a bigger guy in terms of like he's more fat or something, but mostly girls will like a guy who has more muscle and he's leaner than like a guy who's very skinny, no muscle, or like a guy who's literally like obese, right? So yeah, like don't listen to girls on like what kind of guys they like. Don't listen to the fish on how to catch a fish, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys my physique, showing you guys how I'm looking. Right at the beginning of this cut, I'm already like lean and stuff, but like I'm not like, shredded or anything. But yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys my physique.
I'm sorry, baby. You were the sun and moon to me. I'll never get over you. You'll never get over me.
All right, so this is what I'm having for breakfast. So my mom made this. I'm gonna be having a little bit more. It didn't fit all in one plate, but it's basically one packet of cottage cheese, one scoop of protein powder, two eggs, and 100 grams of oats, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And yeah, you can basically, after you cook these pancakes in like the little waffle maker thing, you can just add any type of toppings which you want. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna be having. This is about like 50 grams of protein because of like the cottage cheese, two eggs, and like the scoop of protein powder. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys what I eat in a day. So yeah. What up? So I'm currently going ahead and cycling, and I was actually wrong. That breakfast which I had was actually about like 70 grams of protein. It depends on what kind of cottage cheese you use and like how much protein powder do you put in. But for me, like I tracked it and it was about like 900 calories and 70 grams of protein, which is a bit high in the calories because I used the exact same recipe as I did when I was bulking, so like the pancakes. But those pancakes were really filling and I'm pretty full. So I'm not gonna be having my next meal up until like a few hours later. Maybe I'll have like a little snack before the gym and that'll be about it. But yeah, currently doing some cardio. You know, cardio is super important when you're trying to cut. And if you don't want to be a nerd about it, you should just be sticking to cardio, which is just easy. You know, zone 1, zone 2 cardio. Just get in your steps in, do like easy state cardio. I wouldn't recommend doing like high intensity cardio. Just do cardio which is easy, bro. All right, so I just got back home and man, I cycled for like over an hour, and even before I recorded this video, I actually went outside for a walk because I just woke up really early today and you know, I just couldn't fall asleep. So I thought, you know what, might as well, since I'm already bulking, I might as well just like go for like a walk. So yeah, I'm gonna have my second meal, and my mom actually made me penny pasta with ground pork. So this isn't like an ultra cutting meal or anything, but I think it's fine. You know, you can have stuff like pasta and stuff. You just gotta make sure you track it accordingly. And since, you know, I'm gonna be working out in about 2 hours, I think it's fine, you know. Also, a little thing which I know about cutting is you should actually be eating in smaller plates, because when you eat in smaller plates, you'll just have like the psychology of, you know, like thinking that you already are full. You know, it's easier to get full rather than if you have like a big plate of food. So yeah, I'm gonna start eating in a bit like smaller plates. This isn't really that small of a plate, but I usually eat it in even like a bigger plate. So yeah, this is gonna be like a little trick to, you know, make yourself feel more satisfied. Yeah, ultimate like cutting cheat code is literally just like tracking all of your calories. It's gonna be so much easier to literally get in all your calories. This is like the whole thing of like penny pasta. Hopefully I don't like drop my food like that Tyler One clip. I don't know how much I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna put in the food and then I'm gonna track it because I'm so used to just basically doing that. Maybe that's not such a good habit since like I was just like bulking for so long. So I basically put as much food as I want and then I would only track like the calories of it, you know, after the meal or before the meal. You know, for like cutting, it's better to not have that much pasta, since pasta is like it's like a great carb for like before a workout, after a workout. But pasta doesn't have that many like micronutrients. Like there's literally no micronutrients in this whole thing. It's just basically just straight up just glucose. So yeah, it's like still fine to eat. So yeah, this is gonna be my second meal. This is 154 grams of cooked ground pork, and 243, I think, grams of cooked penny pasta. And yeah, I'll have like the macros up on screen somewhere. And yeah, this is gonna be my second meal for the day. Okay, so I just finished that meal and it was about 700, 800 calories. And a little something which I might be doing wrong is I ate so many calories in just like the beginning of the day when I might get hungry at night, you know, because a lot of people, they actually get like cravings and everything at night. So a little trick which you should do is you should actually eat less food in like the middle of the day and the early day and actually save your calories for at night when you feel like the cravings and you want to like cheat on your diet or something. Like you can actually eat more, you know, towards the nighttime. But it honestly really depends on you, because I know people who, for example, they feel really hungry in the morning but they don't really feel hungry at night, so they can just eat earlier in the day. It depends on like your own lifestyle, your own sort of hunger clock, I guess, when you feel the most hungry. So yeah, like you should be focusing on getting protein, you should be focusing on drinking water, hitting your cardio, all of this. Like it's gonna make you feel satiated. It's going to be easier to stay in that deficit. And yeah, it will be so much easier to just like lose weight. So yeah. All right, so I just made some coffee and I'm just gonna be reading on my Kindle for a bit, and I'll be going to the gym in an hour. So I added some honey to the coffee. It's about like 12 or 13 grams. So basically like 1 teaspoon of honey. It's like mostly for taste and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna be heading to the gym and I'm gonna be recording my workout as usual.
I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Alright, so I just got back from the gym, and as you saw, I actually started doing arms first at the beginning of my workout since I want to put an emphasis on growing my arms. And today, for example, I hit biceps first, and on the other days I actually hit like triceps first. I'm taking this cut seriously. When I went ahead and after the gym, I bought like some rice cakes, or I don't even know if it's counting as a rice cake. Oh, it's wheat cakes. So it's basically like a rice cake, but it's made from wheat. And the ingredients, there's only two. It's literally like wheat and salt. So yeah, no seed oils or anything. It was honestly a bit of a hard find since like most of them have like, I think it's like canola oil or something, trying to avoid that as best as I can. But yeah, right now I want to go ahead and try like these rice cakes, since it has, for 100 grams, it has 334 calories. It has 10 grams of protein, 12 grams of fiber, and fiber is really important when you're trying to cut because it literally helps you feel more full. So yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's 3 rice cakes, which was 19 grams. I'll have like the calories macros up on screen, and I added 114 grams of banana, so that's like one medium-sized banana. On top of that, I'll have like some plums. They taste really good. And yeah, I might have like another like nectarine or something, and this is just like a little snack post gym to get like some fast digesting carbs and all of that. Tastes pretty good. I'm out for another walk today, and honestly I feel really good today. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the placebo and everything, but even though I've been eating less calories, I've been thinking more about food and everything, but I've just been very active today, honestly. More active than like my usual days, because I'm already at like 7 or 8k steps. I cycled for like over an hour, and I'm gonna go ahead and like go for like a walk with my friends as well. So yeah, feeling pretty good right now.
2 hours later.
All right, so I'm just getting back home now, and again I just went ahead and went for such a long walk, and overall I've just been so active today, like literally not even on purpose or anything, like the whole cycling thing and everything, like it wasn't with like this whole intention in mind of like, wait, sorry, where like like, oh, I'm starting to cut and I'm gonna go ahead and do tons of cardio. I'm literally at like almost like 20k steps today, and I already like cycled for like like over an hour. And yeah, like most definitely you'll need like more than like 2,900 calories if I'm doing this much cardio. So yeah, I'm gonna be eating that pasta good. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like the video isn't ending or anything. I'm still gonna show the last thing which I'll eat today, and I'll wrap up the video there. Yeah, like I personally enjoy these vlogs, and I enjoy them more than like the sort of like normal like talking head videos where I'm just like talking about like gym advice and all of that. It's like cool. I think I can give a lot of advice even on like these vlogs which I'm doing. And if you guys want more content from me, just like check out my Instagram and TikTok. That's where I post more content, especially on like TikTok. I post like 5 times a day on there. So yeah, if you guys want more daily content from me, just go ahead and like check out my TikTok, boys. Yo, so I'm still in this forest, basically. Like I'm still walking. I haven't even gotten close to my home and stuff. But I just wanted to talk about, like I want to still give some great advice in this video. So what are my plans when going ahead and doing this cut? First of all, I want to go ahead and, of course, make sure that I'm in a calorie deficit, of like 300, 500 calories, And depending on how much weight do I lose, I will be adjusting my calories. So if I'm basically losing too much weight too quickly, I'm going to up the calories. And, like everything has to be in match with like your activity level, your metabolism. If you have like a faster metabolism, then, it's going to be easier for you to lose weight and all of that. Second thing, I'm going to be focusing on eating high satiating foods, basically, which like foods which you eat and you feel full, not like in terms of like like when you're trying to bulk, you eat like peanut butter, olive oil, just like fatty foods and all of that. Sometimes even like people resort to like junk food. But honestly, with this cut, I just want to become more healthier. I want to, man, there's so many like bugs and stuff. I'm not a big fan of bugs. I mean, I'm not a fan of bugs whatsoever. On this cut, I basically just want to eat, healthy foods. I want to become healthier, that's why I'm like, out and stuff. It's like great to, get steps in, even if you're bulking, if you're not bulking, whatever. So yeah, that's another thing. Of course, drink your water. Most people are actually dehydrated. Even whilst I was bulking, I was still drinking at least like 2 liters or like almost like 2.5 liters of water every single day. Of course, depending on your climate, your activity level, like your water intake matters as well. I haven't walked this long and done this much cardio in a while, bro. Of course, I've gotten like 20k steps. The most I ever got was like 24, 25k steps. I think I'm gonna beat that honestly today. If you do more cardio, you can go ahead and fit more calories in, but like you shouldn't be, let's say that you're trying to lose weight and you think that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do like hours and hours of cardio so I can just eat whatever I want. There is going to be like an end point to that, like you can't just always be doing cardio. Like your cortisol rises. It's going to be very difficult for you to keep on doing cardio. And honestly, you can't outrun a bad diet. Most of the time, if you're not like some sort of like super ultra marathon runner, I don't know, bro. Like if you're the average guy, just stick to like a low calorie deficit, get your steps in, do some cardio, but you don't need to like obsess over it, Okay, so I'm back home safely, of course. And here's going to be the final meal which I'm eating. It's a huge plate of the same pasta and ground pork which I had for my second meal today. And yeah, it's like there's supposed to be like zucchini and cucumbers, and yeah, like I don't know how many calories this is. Like I didn't track it because like my mom heated it up, but this is probably like 1,200 calories. Since I did so much excess cardio, like this whole meal justifies itself, and I already had like 900 calories remaining anyway, so I'm most definitely still in a deficit. And yeah, this is going to be my final meal. Another thing, since I'm cutting, I don't want to be eating too close to bedtime, because that was like a common habit which I was doing when I was like lean bulking. Was like, oh man, I didn't get enough calories yet, I gotta get in another meal. It's like I eat like an hour or like an hour and a half before sleep. That like that ruins like your whole your sleep, basically, like ruins the whole thing of like you feeling sleepy, like the melatonin doesn't kick in and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be it with this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. And if you guys want coaching with me, it's down in the description, and check out my other social medias like my TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, see you guys soon.